Hello everyone, this is Meenakshi Birari working as a assistant professor in chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nasik. In today's lecture, we will study about Colosh law and its applications. What is Colosh law? Limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte can be represented as the sum of the individual contributions of the anion and cation of the electrolyte. Therefore, it can be represented as lambda infinity is equal to lambda A plus lambda C, where these lambda A and lambda C, these are nothing but known as ionic conductance of an anion and ionic conductance of cation at infinite dilution respectively. So lambda A, that is the ionic conductance of anion, and lambda C, that is ionic conductance of cation at infinite dilution. At infinite dilute solution, when ionization of weak electrolyte is complete and all interionic effects disappear, each ion migrates independently of its coion and contributes its definite share to the total equivalent conductance. The contribution to equivalent conductance by the ion depends only on the nature of ion and does not depend upon its coion. In short, the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution of the electrolyte, it should be sum of the equivalent conductance of ions composing the electrolytes under similar condition of temperature and solvent. So, the Colosh law of independent migration of ions can be observed with this example. If we observe this table, here these are the different electrolytes and the values of equivalent conductance are given in per ohm centimeter square. In this table, for K2SO4 and for Na2SO4, this factor one half, it appears as concentration in gram equivalent per liter is considered and not in mole per liter. In this table, the lambda 0, these values for pairs of strong electrolytes with common anion, for example KCl and NaCl, or KNO3 and NaNO3, K2SO4 and Na2SO4. These are considered with common anion. These are pairs of electrolytes, strong electrolytes with a common anion. This table also shows that the difference in lambda 0 values of the sodium and potassium salts, it containing the same anion, which is independent of the nature of the anion, and therefore it is the same. Here the difference is observed 21.1. Here also potassium salt KNO3, NaNO3, the difference is 21.1. Similar results are obtained for the other pairs of electrolytes with either anion or cation in common. This led Colosh law to state his law of independent migration of ions. The law can be stated as follows. So by observing this table, we get the one half, that is the factor, appear as a concentration in gram equivalent per liter, that is considered and not in mole per liter. And also the equivalent conductance lambda 0 values for pairs of strong electrolytes with a common anion, that is for KCl and NaCl, there are common anions, and the difference for both salts, that is same 21.1. Now what is the law? According to the Colosh law, what is the statement for that independent migration of ions? It can be stated as at infinite dilution, each ion migrates independently of its coion and contributes to the total equivalent conductance of an electrolyte at a definite share. This share depends on its own nature and not at all on the cation with which it is associated in the electrolyte. According to this law, the statement says that at infinite dilution solution, when ionization of weak electrolyte is complete and all interionic effects disappear, each ion migrates independently of its cation and contributes its definite share to the total equivalent conductance, and this share depends on its own nature and not at all on the cation with which it is associated in the electrolyte. In short, the equivalent conductance at infinite dilution of the electrolyte should be sum of the equivalent conductance of ions composing the electrolytes under similar condition of temperature and solvent. The infinitely dilute solutions implies complete dissociation of the electrolyte and the complete absence of interionic attractions. Thus, lambda 0 value for any electrolyte can be written as lambda 0 or lambda infinity is equal to lambda A plus lambda C, where these are nothing but the ionic conductance of anion and ionic conductance of cation at infinite dilution respectively. So lambda 0 is equal to L0 plus L0 minus, or lambda A plus lambda C, where lambda A, that is ionic conductance of anion, and lambda C, that is ionic conductance of cation. The difference in lambda 0 values of sodium and potassium salts arise due to the difference in contributions to lambda 0 from K plus and Na plus ions, that is lambda 0 K plus and lambda 0 Na plus. The contributions from anion will be cancelled being common. Therefore, lambda 0 of KCl is equal to lambda 0 of K plus lambda 0 of Cl minus, and lambda 0 of NaCl is equal to lambda 0 of Na plus lambda 0 of Cl minus. When we consider the common ion, we get lambda 0 of K plus lambda 0 of Cl minus lambda 0 of Na plus minus lambda 0 of Cl minus is equal to lambda 0 of K plus minus lambda 0 of Na plus. That means here the difference in lambda 0 values of sodium and potassium salts arise due to the difference in contributions to lambda 0 from K plus and Na plus ions, and there is the contributions from anion that will be cancelled being common. Now let us see the applications of Coloss law and uses of Coloss law. So what are the uses? First one, that is calculation of molar conductivity at infinite dilution for weak electrolytes. Second important use, calculation of degree of dissociation. Then calculation of dissociation constant for a weak electrolyte, and it is also useful for the calculation of solubility of sparingly soluble salt. Let us discuss the applications or uses of Coloss law. First one, calculation of lambda 0 for a weak electrolyte. For the calculation of lambda 0 for a weak electrolyte, there are two methods used to calculate. First, suppose that lambda 0 of acetic acid, a weak electrolyte, is to be obtained. So what is the first method? In this method, by using Coloss law, lambda 0 for a weak electrolyte can be calculated. So this method is based on Coloss law. A table of equivalent ionic conductances at infinite dilution. These values are given in this table. So these are the values for cations and these are the values for anions. Equivalent ionic conductance at infinite dilution for cations and for anions. Suppose we take here H plus ion having the equivalent conductance 349.82, then K plus 73.52, Cl minus 76.34, Br minus 78.40, like that. So these are the different equivalent ionic conductances at infinite dilution. Now we can take the example of acetic acid, that is lambda 0 of acetic acid. A weak electrolyte is to be obtained by using this method. So here lambda 0 of acetic acid, equivalent conductance of acetic acid is equal to L0 of H plus L0 of acetate CH3COO minus. So we have the values of cation, equivalent conductance of cation and equivalent conductance of anion. Therefore both values we can put here from the table. Lambda 0 of H plus is equal to 349.82 per ohm centimeter square, and the value of acetate ion, that is lambda 0 of CH3COO minus, is equal to 40.9 per ohm centimeter square. Therefore here lambda 0 of acetic acid CH3COOH is equal to 349.82 plus 40.9, that becomes 390.72 per ohm centimeter square. So by using that method we can calculate lambda 0 for a weak electrolyte. The acetic acid is weak electrolyte. So this is the first method. Now the method second, arithmetic method. This method is based on the equation lambda 0 is equal to L0 of plus L0 minus, that means for cation and for anion. So in this method lambda 0 value of properly selected strong electrolytes are added and subtracted so as to get lambda 0 of the desired weak electrolyte. This method is illustrated for acetic acid, which is again a weak electrolyte. By Colosh law we have lambda 0 of acetic acid is equal to L0 of H plus L0 of CH3COO minus. Again here these two values for cation and anion. We have the equation by Colosh law. Lambda 0 is equal to CH3COOH is equal to L0 of H plus L0 of CH3COO minus. The strong electrolytes HCl, CH3COO Na, that is sodium acetate, and NaCl are considered. We can write lambda 0 of HCl is equal to L0 of H plus L0 of Cl minus. Lambda 0 of acetate, sodium acetate, is equal to L0 of Na plus L0 of CH3COO minus, and lambda 0 of NaCl, it can be represented by Colosh law, that is L0 of Na plus L0 of Cl minus. Perform the operation lambda 0 of HCl plus lambda 0 of sodium acetate minus lambda 0 of NaCl, sodium chloride. So that we get lambda 0 of H plus lambda 0 of Cl minus lambda 0 of Na plus lambda 0 of CH3COO minus lambda 0 of Na minus lambda 0 of Cl minus. Here these two terms get cancelled. Lambda 0 of Cl minus lambda 0 of Cl minus lambda 0 of Cl minus, and lambda 0 of Na minus lambda 0 of Na plus. That terms get cancelled. Therefore we get lambda 0 of H plus lambda 0 of CH3COO minus. That means lambda 0 of acetic acid. That means lambda 0 of HCl plus lambda 0 of sodium acetate minus lambda 0 of NaCl, we get lambda 0 of acetic acid. Now HCl, sodium acetate, and NaCl are all strong electrolytes, and their lambda 0 values can be readily obtained by extrapolation. Similarly, to calculate lambda 0 of NH4OH, the strong electrolytes to be selected are ammonium chloride, sodium hydroxide and sodium chloride. Perform the operation lambda 0 of NH4Cl plus lambda 0 of NaOH minus lambda 0 of NaCl. So by using, again we get lambda 0 of NH4 plus lambda 0 of OH minus. That means lambda 0 of NH4 OH. Here lambda 0 of cation and lambda 0 of anion. By using that we get lambda 0 of NH4 OH sodium hydroxide. Again plus minus terms get cancelled and we get the final term lambda 0 of NH4 OH. So by using strong electrolytes which we have selected here, ammonium chloride, sodium hydroxide and sodium chloride, we get the lambda 0 for a weak electrolyte. By using strong electrolytes we can calculate equivalent conductance for a weak electrolyte. So that is the second method, arithmetic method. Then the second application of Coloss law, that is degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte. Any weak electrolyte is partially dissociated in the solution. The extent of dissociation is described in terms of its degree of dissociation, that is given by alpha. It is the fraction of the electrolyte that is dissociated into ions that are free to carry current. It mainly depends on the nature of the electrolyte, and for a given electrolyte it varies with concentration and temperature. The degree of dissociation of a solution having a particular concentration and it is proportional to lambda, that is the equivalent conductance of the solution at the concentration. The lambda 0 for the electrolyte corresponds to complete dissociation of the electrolyte, that is alpha is equal to 1. The ratio, that is lambda upon lambda 0, then respects the fraction of the electrolyte that is dissociated at the particular concentration of the solution. This is obviously the degree of dissociation of the electrolyte at that concentration. Thus, alpha is equal to lambda upon lambda 0. In case of strong electrolyte which dissociates completely in dilute solutions, the ratio, that is lambda upon lambda 0, is almost equal to unity. Already in previous lectures we have studied about strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. The strong electrolytes dissociates completely in dilute solutions, whereas weak electrolytes is partially dissociated in the solution. So in case of strong electrolyte which dissociates completely in dilute solutions, the ratio lambda upon lambda 0 is almost equal to unity. In concentrated solutions, however, the ratio differs from unity. The departure arises not due to incomplete dissociation of the electrolyte but due to the formation of ion pairs. These ion pairs are electrically neutral and hence do not take part in the conduction of current. The conductance and hence the equivalent conductance of the solution is less than the value expected for that concentration of the solution. In case of strong electrolytes, the named conductance ratio is given to the ratio of lambda upon lambda 0. Then the third application of Coloss law, that is dissociation constant of weak electrolyte. The strength of weak electrolyte is directly estimated from the magnitude of dissociation constant. and the dissociation constant of weak electrolyte is determined from the equation of Ostwald's dilution law. So what is that? That is equal to K is equal to C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha, where the K is the dissociation constant, K is the dissociation constant, C is the concentration of electrolyte, and alpha is the degree of dissociation. So by using Colosh law, the dissociation constant of weak electrolyte can be calculated. The strength of weak electrolyte, that is directly estimated from the magnitude of dissociation constant, and the dissociation constant of weak electrolyte is determined from the equation of Ostwald's dilution law. It is given by this expression K is equal to C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha, where K is the dissociation constant, C the concentration of electrolyte, and alpha is the degree of dissociation. So in today's lecture we have studied about Colosh law and its applications. It is useful to calculate lambda 0 for a weak electrolyte, also to calculate degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte, dissociation constant of weak electrolyte. Thank you.